Owen Hart was in the midst of an incredible run in the WWF during the 90s. He made a name for himself, and he wasn't just the younger brother of the legendary Bret Hart. Sadly, Hart died in a freak accident at the 1999 Over the Edge pay-per-view inside the Kemper Arena in Kansas City. 2 decades later, and the wrestling world continues to grieve his loss, along with Hart's family, friends, and colleagues. But Owen's death wasn't just a tragic accident, it was avoidable, and there are plenty of backstage details WWE doesn't want you to know about. What's up, all you Quantumaniacs? I'm DeQwan Young, and today we tell you what WWE won't tell you about Owen Hart's death. Owen Hart was born on May 7th, 1965 in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, into the legendary Hart wrestling family. Hart was always interested in entering the squared circle. He began taking up wrestling in high school and worked for different promotions across the world. Hart had brief stints with the WWF and WCW, but Vince McMahon happily brought him back in 1991, where the new foundation was formed. Then the legendary feud with brother Bret was born in 1993. This rivalry lasted through 1995, and Pro Wrestling Illustrated named it Feud of the Year 1994. And with that, Owen began to blossom into a star. When that feud ended, Owen Hart and the British Bulldog formed their own tag team. That culminated in one WWF Tag Team Championship reign. By this time, Owen was recognized as one of the top mid-card superstars, able to work in either singles matches, as a babyface or heel, or as part of any tag team stable. Hart had more successful runs with the Hart Foundation and as a member of the Nation of Domination. But when the Nation of Domination gradually began to break up, WWF decided it was time to reinvent Owen. In 1998, Hart was left off TV and we were introduced to the Blue Blazer gimmick.
Wait a minute, the Blazer's hit some turbulence. Well, he's looks like he's stuck in that harness.
In humorous fashion, the Blue Blazer claimed he wasn't Owen Hart in any way. This was another angle that further added to Owen's legacy. He was able to completely change up his character, going to the slapstick superhero that brought tremendous humor for the fans, even at the height of the vulgar attitude era. According to former WWE writer Vince Russo, officials saw Sting's entrance from the rafters in WCW, and they wanted to do something similar. They realized Hart was the guy for it. Owen was seemingly prepared. But here's the problem. According to ProWrestlingStories.com, Jim Cornette claims that Hart was not comfortable doing the dangerous entrance from the rafter. But Hart had turned down doing so many things, he didn't want to be a negative Nancy, so he went with the stunt. Though WWE would rather if Cornette kept quiet, and so would we, he blamed Russo and officials for the accident. Cornette called the stunt completely unnecessary and thought Owen should have just done his regular entrance. Well, the worst possible scenario happened. As Hart began to lower himself from a harness, he accidentally triggered the release early and fell 78 feet. Paramedics weren't able to revive Hart, and he was pronounced dead after suffering internal bleeding caused by blunt force trauma. WWE made a controversial decision to keep the show going. Bret Hart called it insensitive and cold, while Owen's wife, Martha, questioned why in the world would they continue the show. Home viewers were informed by Jim Ross that Hart's injuries were serious, then later announced that he died.
Let everyone know that Owen Hart has died. Owen Hart has tragically died from that accident here tonight.
Bret had left the WWF nearly 2 years earlier, following the Montreal Screwjob incident. Bret maintained that if he were at Over the Edge, he would have convinced Owen not to go through with the stunt. Owen's father, Stu, accused the WWF of being careless in the fateful stunt gone wrong. And no, the company did not get away with the incident scot-free. Martha Hart sued WWE for wrongful death, and a settlement was reached in 2000 for $18 million. Part of the funds were used to set up the Owen Hart Foundation, which supports low-income families and helps children earn post-secondary scholarships. Owen Hart died in 1999, leaving behind a loving wife and 2 children. The Hart family has continued to wrestle in his honor. Bret is in the WWE Hall of Fame, Natalya is one of the top female talents to ever grace the ring, and Martha and the kids have continued to move forward. Hope you guys loved this video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe. There's plenty more fights in store. Till next time, I'm your main eventer, DeQwan Young.